everyone, it's the 10th of August of 2023 and I've already done one of these magazine reactions today. I did a Nintendo Power one and I've decided I've got a bit more time, so I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to do one that's a bit shorter. This one's 40 pages. Usually they're like 100 or so, but I just thought, let's see if I can find something that's a bit shorter. And here we have Retro Gaming Magazine. This is issue 1 from because of it, April of 2014. Never heard of this before. I'm not entirely sure what country it originates in. But we'll have a look. Anyway, so this is from 2014, and so this is looking back into the past. We have some fan translations. First of all, I have no idea who this guy is. No idea at all. Fan translations of Dynamite Eddie. Is that an E? Hold on. Is the page just a bit, or is that like a bit of blood covering? Is that on the scan? Or is that just part of the, I don't know. Don't know if like it was damaged as it was scanning, or if that's just part of the thing. We've got Front Mission on the SNES, Metal Gear 1 and 2, Police Note on the PS1, and Sweet Home on the NES. As for digital comics, we have Akira on the NES, Jesus on the NES, apparently that's a game, I didn't know that, and a few others. The Sharp X 68,000, the best gaming computer you've never heard of. That's correct, I've never heard of it. Don't know if it's the best one of them though. And Post-Mortem Gaming, game hacks and more in this issue. So I have no idea what's in store here, but let's have a look. First of all, I was going to say that's a bit creepy, isn't it? Like horror films or ghost stories, you will love this magazine. So there must be some sort of like crossover thing going on here. Some horror themed magazines. Available in the App Store. See, you can tell that this is like newer than the previous ones. And look, they've got like hyperlinks in here as well. Special thanks to the Retro League podcast for their support. Check them out at this site here. Alright then. Brain Games. Oh, corrections. In our first issue, the interview with Susan Jekyll featured various game covers, but this is issue 1. So is this not issue 1 then? Is listed as issue 1? I'll have to do some research, and if I can't find anything, I'll just say this is issue 1, or maybe there's like, I don't know, some extra like pilot version or whatever. Anyway, in the first issue, the interview with Susan Jekyll, how we pronounce that, featured various game covers that she painted around the border of the page. One of those boxes was wrong. We intended to run the Sears version of Brain Games, but somehow the Atari version got inserted. This is the correct Brain Games box that Miss Jekyll worked on. I apologise for any confusion that may have caused. Look at this Times New Roman font. This very much looks like this very much looks like it was like made quite quickly in Publisher. Here we go in Sega font. The first time you do anything new, it's always a massive learning experience. Nothing is going to be perfect and you're going to find a million things you could have done better. And in the aftermath, your thoughts are consumed with shoulds, woods and cuds. Thankfully, we have followers who are vocal and not just with their praise, but also their criticism. While it's great to hear what our readers liked, it's even better for us to know what didn't work. And boy howdy, did we get loads of suggestions for what we could improve. Hopefully you'll see a number of them as you flip through the pages. So yeah, so I have no idea then if this is... I mean, this is listed as issue 1, but it might not be. In many ways, the second issue of the magazine is more significant than the first. You're proving that you're a one-trick pony, but you're also proving that you listen to readers. You're taking those critiques to heart, and you're using the praise you earned to push through the difficult trial period. Yeah. So honestly, I have no idea. Is there a? Hold on. Is there a thing on here? Let's have a look at the last page. Anything there? No, just a QR code. Honestly then, I have no idea. I have no idea. I'll list it as issue 1 if I can't find anything, and then if I do find anything later down the line, I'll change it. Anyway, it's issue of Retro Gaming Mag. I'm not liking this Times New Roman, I've got to say. Police notes. Fan translations. Fan translations are quite simply games translated from one language into another. Oh. Yeah. Dynamite Headdy, was that not released in English? Game hacks. Yeah, you can see we've got a wall there. That's not. Oh, oh dear. Look at. Turn the page. Look what we find. Oh, police notes. So maybe the front cover's from police notes. So what system is police notes on then? Let's have a look. So we've got a translator. He's incredibly dedicated to his work. You can't imagine the amount of time employed in finding the best translation for each line and the implications of any change further down the road. Slow Beef. Ah, Slow Beef! Joined us in mid-2008. Our previous PlayStation hacker had left due to lack of time, and we were stalled. He was interested in doing a Let's Play rundown for Something Awful, which he did, and received a great response. After that, he joined us in an attempt and made strides at the stuff we were missing. Okay. I'm just looking through this. From your experience, what was the hardest part of this process? Text reinsertion into the game, and I would say that what maybe was the hardest part in anything is the small details. Slow Beef had to re-implement the text printing routine in assembly. And there are several details that drove us crazy, like the text in some places were not text at all, but graphics in a different implementation within the game. Yeah, sometimes you dig into games and you find out they work around things in weird ways. Anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into that. Oh, here we have more of it again. Again, I don't know what system this is on. Do you have many comments for the many fans out there who've been waited patiently for this patch? I like people to enjoy the game as much as we do, finding out all the small details that are hidden everywhere, just as with Snatcher. Kojima and his team created a very immersive experience. I like to think of it as giving a world life through extreme detail. Lots of it's rather explicit by the looks of it. Maybe that was why it wasn't released away. But anyway, outside of Japan, I'm guessing. But Dynamite Headdy 2? No, but Dynamite Headdy is on. It's on one of the Sega Mega Drive collections, like the Ultimate Mega Drive collection on the PS3, I think. It's just like a platform game, isn't it? I don't think there's going to be as many words in this game as there would be in Police Notes. Oh, I guess it does have a storyline. Judging by what it says there. Anyway. Sweet dreams have made of these. Imagine yourself as a Japanese gamer in 1989, reading about Sweet Home, an 8-bit horror film tie-in. Developed by a studio whose experience creating turn-based RPGs was best summed up as, "Who, us? Could you finish the article before the laughter began?" Yeah, it does look rather RPGs. It looks like the original Dragon Quest. Kind of. Most RPGs give you magic spells, armor, ins, and the ability to resurrect party members. Today's convention, Sweet Home says, bite me. Ooh, fighting words. Healing is limited. Enemies roam the map in real time, and if somebody dies, you loot the corpse and carry on, albeit weaker than before. Influences for Resident Evil wriggle all through this game like maggots. Even the between room transitions feature animated doors, and the atmosphere, the atmosphere. So is it an RPG then? Do you actually have is there a level up system and all that? Wanza. Walking robot of destruction. Front mission? Oh, so this is front. Hold on. That's front mission. What's this? So that's Sweet Home. Sweet Dreams have made of these. Yeah, okay. So this is front mission. The arena. The arena literally adds a ton of depth to the front mission universe and offers a convenient place to test our new Wanza designs, weapons, arrangements, and to hone your skills without having to face a life or death situation in the normal game. Front mission, I believe, it's like a tactical game, isn't it? Because in my mind, I sort of compare it to Armored Core just because it's mechs, and Armored Core is the mech game I'm most familiar with. But it is a tactical game. And I know they did release later ones down the line. Is it still... So this is still translations. Which one's over here? Contra. What? Contra? Is it a different version of Contra? Like a Super Nintendo? I'd admit it, you used the Konami code, didn't you? It's okay, we did too, just to verify it worked. Mind you, we're not cheaters or anything, honest. Whoa. So what is this then? Is it a... Because Contra was released in the US. Right. US, and how US gamers got screwed out of the real deal. Right. Long answer. Okay, kind of. Yeah, Japanese gamers didn't get extra stages or unique weapons or bonus fights or enhanced difficulty. What they did get could be considered the director's cut, though. Japanese Contra has its storyline conveyed through between levels animated cutscenes where Bill and Lance report their progress. It has enhanced graphics like an actual blizzard in the snowfields. Right, okay, so it's the same game, but there's some feature differences. And what game is this? Royal Stone. Never heard of it. But a Game Gear RPG. In North America, we saw a pretty sparse variety of games on the Sega Game Gear. A lot of action titles, and were all that really hit the shores. One title that did make it here was Crystal Warriors, a little-known title that spawned a sequel in Japan. Royal Stone is the more refined of the two, with much better battle animations overall graphics and sound, and a better story that builds somewhat off of Crystal Warriors. I don't like this, what's it called? This sort of word spacing, where it's aligned both to the left and the right side, where the gaps in between. Look at this, more big gap refined. Yeah. Much like Fire Emblem, Front Mission, and just about every other game in the genre. See that gap there? It's weird. The game is set up via a long, non-interactive story sequence. Once you're familiar with the situation of your character having wronged the country, you are thrust into battle with an all-out but unknown group of foes that want you dead. You start on one side of the map by Tease Town, while the enemy is... Alright. Blocking the only exit out of the area, a path through a small mountain range. If you're wondering why, I was wiggling the page around, it's because sometimes, I'll let go of the mouse and it still drags. I've got to click it again. Attacking and defending are all animated on screen, and in a fashion that's much better than that of similar styles like Phantasy Star and Final Fantasy. Royal Stone has a slightly more mature storyline that may have been the reason that Sega passed on bringing it over to North America. Strange like it's on the Game Gear. It's Game Gear, is that right? Oh, see, did it again there. Yeah. Alright. But is it like on a... There's no screenshots here that show like on a battle grid, but I assume... I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What's this now? Metal Gear? So again, different versions. Many things were changed in the conversion to the 8-bit Nintendo, including the complete removal of the end boss, the Metal Gear itself. This behemoth was replaced with a supercomputer in the North American version of the game for some reason. Right, yeah. So there's different... Oh, no. Different... come on. Sometimes it's... Right. Here we go. Right. Metal Gear Solid... Metal Gear 2. So was this brought to North America? Officially it's not, it's just a military game that happens to share some character names and... Oh, so is this sort of like a Mario Brothers 2 situation? Snake's Revenge was what many thought to be Metal Gear 2 in North America. Officially it's not. Yeah, so it sounds like it's the... It sounds like it's that similar sort of situation as... Oh, look, they're saying it here. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake is more different than Doki Doki Panic was from either the original Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah, so they sort of do make a reference there. Right. Can equip additional items such as cigarettes. Not sure why, other than looking 80s cool. Right. So, one more by the looks of it. Clock Tower. Yeah, this is a horror game, isn't it? A point and click horror game. I'm not going to read over this. Anyway. Homebrew section, exclusive downloads. Oh, look at this. I like this. I like this little thing we've got going over here. All these characters in Green Hill Zone. What's that bird from? I don't know. I think I recognise the rest of them, but I don't know what that bird is. Forum, live chat, box, left title box, arcade reviews, exclusive interviews, music, jukebox. Join the retro revolution. Say whoa, revolution. Okay, so I can left click when I've got like the pointer hand. I can left click and grab and move it around, right? And then when it's this, I can click and highlight text. If I just click normally, it turns the page, and sometimes I can middle click. Sometimes, yeah, and then do this and move around that way. But all right. Konami? It's been a long time since I've called it Konami. Konami never released the official version of the Castlevania for the ZX Spectrum, but that has not stopped Fandom making their own version. Oh, right, I was going to say I didn't know they made a version of that. But I guess someone has made, like, okay. I mean, I suppose it's interesting and all that, but it's one of those things where I don't see any benefit to doing this. Postmortem. Oh, this is Postmortem Gaming. Right, okay. So I wonder if they're going to change some stuff. So on this side... Oh, doing it again. Right. Look. I'm not even clicking anything down. But I have to go click again to let it go. Right. Different take on the horror movie genre. What is this? Is this Friday the 13th? Oh, Halloween. Oh, I don't know. not going to spend too much time on it. What is post-mortem gaming? What does that, like, what is that? Sort of like a look back at a game. Sydney Hunter and the Mayans Revenge for the NES. So this is like remakes, like they're making their own versions of games. The Nintendo Entertainment System is still quite new to homebrew creations due to Nintendo putting so much work into keeping piracy down on the console with lockout chips and other security measures. This has not stopped independent game developers from creating some interesting games, just slowed them down a bit. Now the system is much more open, more and more games are starting to appear. So, is this a new game that they're like remaking, or is this just like a new game entirely? I don't know. Looks very La Mulana-esque, I guess. Oh, and then you can see the staples. So this must be the middle page then. Reblobbed. Right, as you already know, the post-mortem article is all about new games for dead consoles. As you will see in this article, there are new... It doesn't really pick up the text very well, does it? There are new games coming out for many old consoles after seeing their old commercial life come to an end. One such title is Reblobbed from 2D retrospective for the Sega Dreamcast. See, okay, the fact that they felt the need to mention that within the Reblobbed section indicates to me that they don't actually have as much to talk about with this game as what they would with the other ones. So Reblobbed is not the only upcoming Sega Dreamcast title that 2D retrospectives have in the works. They are also working on the overheard action role-playing game called Savior, which is heavily influenced by classic RPGs such as Alundra and Grandia. Alright then, that's Reblobbed. Digital comics. I'll probably skim over this, I think. So what is this then? For many that are reading this, the concept of a digital comic is totally alien. This is a genre that has fallen flat on its face in North America, probably due to the lack of properly conveying to gamers what to expect. Snatcher is the most well-known digital comic to have been released here, and that game reportedly sold only a few thousand copies on the Sega CD. Not exactly the powerhouse in sales itself. So is it just like stories, like comics, but on like consoles? Is that what they're trying to get at here? Over the next several pages, we present to you a selection of digital comics from Japan that we never got here and in the United States. As you will see, even before Snatcher, this genre was alive and thriving in the Japanese market. It is still going strong, if anyone is wondering. I was confused for a second then, because I was thinking Snatcher. I had like ideas in my head of what Snatcher looks like, but I think that's Strider that I'm thinking of there. Yeah, so gameplay. The first and foremost striking thing about digital comics is the lack of action on screen. This also translates to not needing good hand-eye coordination to enjoy these games. So is it sort of like a pick and choose your own adventure kind of deal? These games are, of course, what you might expect in a PC adventure title such as King's Quest series or Leisure Suit Larry, though much more focused on the task at hand. Old titles such as Uninvited and Shadowgate did make it out in North America, and they feature very similar gameplay, but they also allow an inventory system, something digital comics shy away from. But some items are allowed, such as picking up a gun in Snatcher, that is used later in the game. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much what it is. Silent Hill. Game Boy Advance, so it is... Alright. There's a homebrew title for the Sega Genesis. Alright. Oh. Right, okay. Oh. Explicit. Snatcher. Radical Dreams. Of all the games in this article, this is probably the one with the least amount of actual gameplay. That may turn off some, but for others, the story and music are much more make up than the lack of control or interactivity. Right. Yeah, I'm not too interested in this, if I'm honest, but I'm going to have a look. Police Notes. Ah, Police Notes. Alright, okay. That's the one they talked about earlier where they were doing the translations. Are they going to mention that again here? I don't know. I'm not reading through that. Oh, even more. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay. This is what Jesus is from. Yeah, this is one of those games where it's an obvious duh. No wonder this didn't come out in North America. From the name of the game to the graphics, it's pretty easy why NX, now Square Enix, didn't bother bringing this one over. What a name for a game, Jesus. And Akira. Oh. So now we're on hacks. We're approaching the end of this. GameHacks takes a commercial game and changes it around in such a way that it can become a new game that happens to use the original game engine, graphics and sound. Some of the better game hacks are called total conversions, by a term popularised by first-person shooter game addicts. Total conversions change everything, effectively creating a new game. We have 2 examples of both these types of games in this issue. Yeah. So, yeah, some like Sonic games do get a lot of what's like hacks and all that. And a lot of them are just like swapping, like changing the colours. So, Russian ROM hacker, Vladikompa, has taken the original Sonic the Hedgehog and added many things to creating a nearly new game. Some of the basic moves from the later Sonic games are included in this hack. I'm going to guess the spin dash. Oh, and that run from Sonic CD. Anyway, looks like there's ice on that spring there. Yeah, and the old is as well, we've got like multiple loops. Is this? Oh yeah, this is the same. So it's winter themed, so they've taken all the levels. It looks like they've taken the levels from Sonic 1, made them added like a blue tint to it, and redesigned the levels. There are only a handful of levels in Sonic Winter Adventures, nothing near what Sega gave gamers officially. But what is here is amazingly cool. Playing this game to the fullest requires taking leaps of faith in some places, then running like hell through other areas, ploughing through a ton of enemies and hitting springs, causing you to soar to new heights. And that is just the first level. Okay. And now, is this another? So this is God of War. The God of War game. Rygar. I was looking for which game was it taken from. So is this? This might be So the range of the weapon here is not nearly as far as what the games are used to on the newer Sony hardware, but this is the all-new adventure for fans to take on. All the levels are redone. Okay, so it is like a redone. So I wonder if I'm not familiar with God of War, but I wonder if the levels are redone to emulate like God of War levels, like the places in God of War. Right. Got some wrestling one. Not gonna look over that. Oh, and here is the best computer I've never heard of, the Sharp 68000 with an X logo. Ooh, Elon's not gonna like that. Personal workstation. He's not gonna like the other people are using it. He'd like that for himself. To most reading this, it is simply a weird combination of letters and numbers. It is indeed. For a select few, it is recognised as one hell of a computer that we never got in North America. So, yeah, I've definitely never heard of it. But these games, they're very square, and it sort of looks I imagine this is sort of a it gives me a feeling of the like a 3D or something. I think. I mean, I might be wrong there. Maybe not 3D or This thing was built for gaming as it features 3D goggle port, 2 MSX controller plugs, RGB in-out TV monitor capabilities. Right. Yeah, it looks Mega Drive-ish, but maybe like a little bit above that. Maybe like 32X. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. See, stupid thing. Right. What's this? Final Fight. Final Fight is another arcade port that got a lot of attention in North America. This time it was for the Super Nintendo and came directly from Capcom. The SNES part was riddled with problems from the get-go though. Lack of 2-player support. Guy got lost on the road in the living room. I'm not reading that bit. We don't. It's not. Basically, what they did was they were like, "Oh, I don't want to hit women," and then they said, not in these words, obviously, but then they said, "Oh, it's okay, she's trans." Like, oh, okay, I guess it's all right to beat up trans women. Look, they've left the cursor on the screen there. Yeah, I've never heard of this system before. And then Street Fighter. Oh, these just random Konami parts. Alright. Yeah, Capcom were quite prolific with the hardware, and these versions rock just as hard as the arcade original. Street Fighter 2, completest among our readers. Welcome to your financial doom. What do you mean completest? What? I don't know. Are these more? Yeah. Multiple other games. Aquales or Aquales, I don't know. Riga. And here we have, I mean, look at this. Look, this. This looks bad. Rocking retro like there is no tomorrow. Come relive retro with us. Retro Gaming Magazine. But look, there's Micro Machines. And is that Zombies Ate My Neighbours or something like that? But look at this. Look at this gradient and just like pictures just stuck on there, and the Times New Roman font. Look at the spacing, like inconsistent spacing. This looks so cheap and plastered together. Anyway, that was the end of it. Alright then. Don't know if I've really got much to say about that one. I just thought, oh, I've got some time, I can do another one, but not like a big one, so I'll just pick something short and simple. And oh my goodness, why is it so hot? It's supposed to be getting cooler now. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.